Okay, but we continue with the next game. Okay, now we come to some sport titles. This is Video Speedway, a driving game. Yeah, there's actually not much to talk about. This is one of the few racing games on the CDI. Graphic-wise, it actually doesn't look that bad, but a lot of people who reviewed this game or played this game had the same issue like myself, that when you just pick a car, pick a race, you have no chance against your opponents. And I guess we all make the same mistake that before you come to a race you can modify your car, and I guess to have any chance against your opponents you have to completely recalibrate the car. In my opinion, it is not a great game, and I actually would not really recommend this game. I mean, if you need a racing game on the CDI, then yeah, maybe you consider buying this game, but I think it's not really that great. Okay, but let's come to the next game. Palm Springs Open. It's a golf game or a golf simulator, if you wanna call it like that. Yeah, I'm not really a huge golf fan myself. I played it a little bit. I really hated the narrators. They really go on my nerves a little bit in this game, and was not comfortable with all the controls of this game. I also, this was the first time that I played this game for this review. I guess for a golf game it is actually not that bad, but since I'm not a huge sports game player, or yeah, actually since I don't play much golf games except for Tiger Woods. There was a time where I played Tiger Woods on the PlayStation 2, but yeah. I guess if you like golf, then this could also be fun if you have a CDI that you get the game, but yeah, let's stick to that. Okay, the next game is Micro Machines, and Micro Machines is the second racing game on the CDI. And yeah, it is basically Micro Machines. It has a cool soundtrack that has CD audio quality. One funny thing, number one, you don't have sound effects in this game, and number two, the game suffers sometimes from slowdowns, and this is very unusual. I mean, the game was released for many systems, a lot of systems that are weaker than the CDI, and for some kind of reason you have some slowdowns in the game. It's not bad or anything, but you will notice it while playing, and this is also one of the few games that you can actually play with a second player. And also here on the front it is mentioned that you can play it with two controllers or even with one controller, and every player uses one side of the controller. The one player plays with the buttons and the other one with the D-pad. It is a nice version of Micro Machines and I would recommend it, but yeah, keep in mind that you actually have some slowdowns in this game. Okay, but now let's come to the next game. The next game is International Tennis Open, also one of the few games that support two players, and yeah, it's just a normal tennis game. Actually, graphic-wise it looks pretty good, and yeah, also controls are also okay. Again, I'm not a huge sports game fan, but I guess I can really recommend this game if you like tennis and you need a tennis game on the CDI. So for me, not really great and also not really bad. Okay, but let's come to the next game. The next game is CD Shot, and yeah, it's kind of a trap shooting simulation, let's call it like that. Again, the graphics actually are okay, but play game wise, yeah, it's simply trap shooting with a controller, so not really great and also not really bad. That's actually all that I can say about this game. Okay, now let's come to another game. This one, Caesar's World of Gambling, and yeah, it's basically a visit to Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, and in this game, if you want, you can play blackjack, poker, slots, or roulette. And yeah, if you like to gamble, then I guess I can recommend this game. I guess a real visit to Caesar's Palace would be a lot more interesting and cooler, but if you want to enjoy the Caesar's Palace at home, then yeah, knock yourself out. Okay, now we come to the next game, and that is this one right here, Arcade Classics. This is a collection of some classic arcade games. In here you have Miss Pac-Man, then also Galaga and also Galaxian. Those games are nice portations, let's call them like that. They work, the conversions of those games are actually not bad. And yeah, if you like old arcade games like those three, then you actually can't go really wrong with this mini collection of arcade games. I would also recommend this for the CDI. Next we have Pinball, and yeah, this is a collection of 4 pinball tables. I really like Pinball Dreams and Pinball Fantasies on the Commodore Amiga, and also liked on the PlayStation 1 True Pinball. This is also a very cool game. So I was actually pretty disappointed when I played this game or those 4 tables on the CDI. Those tables don't have much to interact with. I mean, you have 4 tables. You have Cyber, which is kind of a robot table. Then you have Dogfight, which is inspired by World War I. And then you have Spring Break, which is a day at the beach. And then you have Meltdown, so basically like a nuclear reactor. But the tables don't offer very much variation, and they lack, in my opinion, on ideas. So for a pinball game, it's not that great, but it's the only pinball game that you can find on the CDI. So if you really want a pinball game for the CDI, then yeah, maybe get it, and if not, then yeah, leave this title. Okay, now to the next game. The next game is Mutant Rampage Body Slam. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up in the style of Final Fight or Streets of Rage. This is, as far as I know, the only side-scrolling beat-em-up on the CDI. It actually looks very good. Yeah, all the cutscenes are also in some sort of cartoonish look. I actually had higher hopes when I played it the first time now for this review, and I've tried to get into the game a little bit, but I actually sucked very bad in this game, and maybe I'll give it another try someday. And yeah, if you want side-scrolling beat-em up for the CDI, I guess I can recommend it. And yeah, let's see, maybe I'll give it another shot another day. So this was Mutant Rampage Body Slam. Now the next title is The Seventh Guest, and this is also one of the best-selling games for the CDI. This is, yeah, more or less let's say, horror point-and-click adventure, and got, for the time, amazing graphics. They also had some digitized actors in this game, and yeah, in the end it's kind of a point-and-click adventure slash puzzle game. It's not really scary, or at least as far as I've played it, it wasn't really scary or anything, but it's actually pretty well made, and the puzzles are really, let's call it, brain teasers. It is a fun game. I spent some time playing this game a couple of years ago with my fiance, but we didn't get very far into the game, but for the most part that we played this game, we actually enjoyed it. And since it was such a success, number one, it was also sold with some CDI players, and the second thing is that it was also ported to the PC because of its success. So this is also one great game that I would recommend for the Philips CDI. Now, the next game is Secret Missions, and this is an adventure game. This is also one game. This was also the first time that I've played it. A couple of people actually recommended this game to me, a couple of friends, and said that this is actually a pretty cool game. I've watched a little bit online and it looks really interesting, and like I said, this was the first time that I've played it for the reviews. It looks like a cool game. I guess I could also recommend it, and yeah, and this is basically Secret Missions. Since I've only played it once for a short time for this review, I can't really tell you much about this game, but as far as I know, I can really recommend it for all the people who want a cool adventure on the CDI. Now, the next game is Myst, also another great classic. It's a point-and-click adventure that was very successfully, and because of its success, it was ported to also so many systems. And yeah, this is the version for the CDI. It is also a great version. Graphic-wise, it looks pretty good. And again, this is also one game that I didn't play much, especially on the CDI, but I also have this game for other systems, and I know it's a great adventure and many people would recommend this game. I know that it is a great game and a great classic, so if you like point and click adventures, then knock yourselves out with Myst. Now to the next game. The next game is Shadowrun, and Shadowrun is also let's say a point and click adventure. Shadowrun is actually the second part or the sequel of this game, Kingdom the Far Reaches. And Kingdom the Far Reaches is actually another title for the original name. The original title of this game was Thea's Quest, a game for the Laserdisc arcades, and it was ported to the Halcyon Laserdisc player. And after that, it was ported also to other systems, but they changed the name and they changed also a little bit in the story and changed a couple of names. And the changed version is called Kingdom the Far Reaches. I didn't want to show this game since it is factory sealed, and for some kind of reason I want to keep it factory sealed. But anyways, I wanted to show you the sequel, Shadowrun. And yeah, all the cutscenes are or have a cartoonish look.
Torlok's forces are descending into the far reaches and destroying everything in their path. You must find the last two remaining relics, the Dagger of Arn and the Crown of Malric, to assemble the hand. It is the only way to defeat Torlok.
I will do everything in my power to protect the kingdom's grace.
And it's actually nicely made. I mean, there's not much that you can control, so on one hand it reminds me a little bit of Dragon Slayer, but in the end it is a point-and-click adventure. There's not that much that you can actually control in this game, but it's still a nice looking game. So if you like point-and-click adventures and Dragon Slayer, then I guess I can really recommend this game to you.
Oh, Alcatraz, the lost city. That doorway, it transported me to Alcatraz.
Okay, now the next game is Lost Eden, and Lost Eden is also a point-and-click adventure. This is a really cool game. This was also ported to a couple of other systems like the PC or the 3DO, and I have to say it's really a great game. The graphics look pretty amazing for its time, and it's got a very cool soundtrack, the game. And back in the days I've played and beat this game with a good friend of mine, and yeah, this is also one game that I can highly recommend if you like point and click adventures.